But we're talking hockey now. I got to get this right. So I got everything written down. Seniors moment. Stephen Ellis is next up, associate editor, prospect analyst at the Daily Faceoff, co-host of the Puck Poolies podcast. Joins us now, correct? Gentlemen, yeah, there he is. Nice to see you, Stephen, in his gaming chair. I appreciate. What do you like about the gaming chair? You do a lot of gaming, or does it help your back?
So it's mostly I like the how high it is because I do a lot of online sim racing. So being able to sit up straight, it's being able to sit up straight and be able to do that makes it a lot easier. So it's not the most comfortable chair, but I get to sit up straight like I do when I race go-kart. So it's nice.
I think I got to get one of those. Hey, you're on with us to talk about NHL All-Star festivities. Let me just say this. What's the excitement level? What's the temperature there in Toronto in advance of all the wonderful NHL All-Star festivities this week?
Well, it's a good thing that the weather's finally nice because basically for a good month and a half, we just didn't know what the sun was here. But it's been a bit sunnier. It's been a bit nicer. The rain and the snow have kind of stayed away. And it should be good weather. I think we're looking at 4 to 5 degrees Celsius in some of the days. So that's nice. But, when you look at if you look at the NHL All-Star games in the past, you look at last year in Florida, and the weather was so incredible. I kind of feel bad for the players and having to go to Toronto this year. But, having lived in the city for a long time, I think it's really cool that they're really ramping it up. There's a lot of promotion for it. There's a lot of excitement, some cool guests coming, and there's a lot of events going around the city. So I'm excited for it.
What do you know about what's going to go down? I mean, there's the Tim Hortons draft on Thursday night, and I saw that NHL.com did a mock draft of the All-Star draft, and it's like, this kind of a waste, but also kind of fun. I think they've changed up the events, and I sure hope they have considerably from what they did on the Friday night here in Sunrise, because I'm sorry, that was a sham. That was a joke. I was there. How similar or different will this one be compared to Sunrise or South Florida, because they spread it around the whole area last year?
Yeah, so first off, I wasn't at that one, but the fact that everything was like there was a pre-recorded segments and things were all over the place, I felt like that just made it hard to keep or to follow, really. But this time, everything's kind of close. The entire skills competition will be inside of Scotiabank Arena, kind of like it should be. And I think the key thing here this year is that there's $1 million cash prize for the best performer at the skills competition. There's something on the line for once. And I think in the past, you look at it, and I've been tweeting, and I don't find the All-Star Game event interesting because there's nothing on the line for the players. Now there is, and there should be a big cash prize that's maybe tied to charities for the big game so that they actually have to try, and it looks bad if they don't try. But for the skills competition, I think this is, this is the actual best opportunity we've ever seen for these guys to actually show what they're capable of. It's going back to the basics, like the hardest shot, fastest skater, none of this kind of weird stuff we saw last year. So if you kind of like the previous versions of it, it will be a lot better. And then obviously the All-Star Game itself being the tournament format, I guess it really depends on how you feel about that. But the skills competition should be better than we've seen in recent years.
We know it's fun. And we all remember the draft when Phil Kessel went last. And hey, I went in. I clicked on the NHL.com story where they did their fake draft, and they said there is intrigue. Who will be the first player? Who will be the last player? Who will be the first goalie? Will all the Leafs be on the same team? So I'll put it to you. Who do you think will be the first player off the board of the celebrity draft, the All-Star draft on Thursday night?
I've given no thought into it, to be fully honest.
I know.
I would be shocked if it's not a Leaf. If it's William Nylander, it makes sense. Look at the way he's putting out points this year. But I think just to get the crowd going, I think it just no matter who's picking first, they got to pick a Leaf just to get that crowd excited.
Fair. See, I was thinking, call me crazy, Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon, or I guess, so you're saying, well, Austin Matthews, the roof would go off the place, but would Willie get a bigger cheer than Austin Matthews? I mean, so what you say, it should be a Leaf. That's what you're saying. Now you got me thinking, man.
I'm trying to think, who are the captains for this All-Star game? Austin Matthews is one of the captains, so he can't act. So
Matthews, McDavid.
That makes that. that answers
McKinnon
that.
and
So
the
I think
Hughes
it will be
brothers.
really good.
Okay. Okay. Cool. What else are you looking forward to? What else should our viewers and NHL fans know about this particular weekend in Toronto?
Well, it'll be interesting to see kind of how the PWHL showcase is. Obviously, a lot of hype for that league this year, which is good to see. Like sellouts every single game here in Toronto, and they're playing in a game coming up at Scotiabank Arena soon. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that works out, because we almost have seen in the past where those are the only players that really try in this week. Personally, I'm looking forward to the media reception because, free food, free drinks, can't complain about that. But I think it'll just be kind of interesting to see how the celebrities are utilized in the area. Obviously, Justin Bieber, huge star. Michael Bublé, it's a great guy he is. He's a huge hockey fan. Tate McRae, brother played junior hockey out in Alberta. Will Arnett, we know his history of hockey. So, these are 4 celebrities that love the sport. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they're utilized, because, they need the star power they can get, and with Tate McRae also performing there will be kind of interesting, being a captain and performing. But I'm not one to care about celebrities, and I can't say I personally care about any of their music or their movies or anything like that. But I like the fact that they've been able to get kind of the full participation here.
Sure, it pulls in people that wouldn't normally be watching the All-Star game. It's really, really smart for them to do, but Clark's on top of this. He's named all the captains. My mind's on Super Bowl and my duties out there, and I can't be in charge of everything. That's why I bring you on. Or I ask Clark these questions because he's on top of it. Now, Jen at the Four Seasons writes in, she says, I'm still sad Connor Bedard is not going to be there. The skills competition is my favorite part. Has Connor's name come up? Is that appalled over this, that he's not there? What about that factor?
It's a shame that, the game's arguably biggest star that we've seen from the last year won't be at the All-Star game, but obviously at the injury. And also, just to go back to something you said there about having maybe more eyes that are not big hockey fans following this. And I know you're a huge CFL fan. I'm not a fan of football, but watching Green Day play at the halftime show, that's my favorite band, and that was a great show. So that was really cool, and I actually did watch that game as a result. But when it comes to Bedard, obviously, it's a shame that we don't get to see him in the first year. I think it's kind of funny, though. The biggest thing that kind of caught me off guard, but obviously no Blackhawks representation, but no representation from the Vegas Golden Knights, the team that just won the Stanley Cup and one of the favorites to win it again this year. There's not a single player from their team is going to be at the All-Star game. That's crazy to me, but at least from my understanding, Bedard's going to be at the event and he's going to be taking part in some stuff. I don't know if it's media availabilities. I don't know if it's part of the broadcast, but it sounds like he'll still be there. He'll still be a part of it. But watching him play, watching him go head to head in Connor McDavid would have been the coolest thing.
Yeah. By the way, on the Vegas thing, Jack Eichel was named, but he's hurt, right? Is that not the reason why there's no Golden Knight there?
Yeah, but instead of replacing him with another guy in Vegas, they've had a couple opportunities to do that, they didn't. So kind of a weird one there.
A Kelly McCrimmon thing.
I'm not sure.
I get it. Hey, all right, Steven. Enjoy it for all it is, man. We'll be following your stuff, and I always appreciate you coming on with us.
Yep, thanks so much.
Steven Ellis from the Daily Faceoff joining us.